Here we go. Okay, guys, welcome back to Let's Get Freaky podcast. Very excited. We've got two awesome guests tonight. We have got Chinelle and Sam from Elite Vixen Paranormal. Guys, how are we? Welcome to Let's Get Freaky.
Hi, we're good, thank you.
Whereabouts are you guys tonight? You're in Tennessee, is that right?
That's right. So all of our members are, well, except for Jessica, she's from Kentucky, but she did live in Tennessee.
Okay,
But all the rest of us are from like Middle Tennessee area.
cool. Tennessee's such a cool place, man. I really want to get over there.
Well,
You've
come
got
on.
you've got a lot of cool, spooky, freaky stuff. Bigfoot,
Yeah,
ghosts. You've got everything, man. Dog man.
yep.
Yeah, we do.
So you guys, there's eight of you in a group, is that correct?
Yes. Yep,
Awesome.
there's eight.
So tell us how it all started. What got you guys into the paranormal? Where does it start?
I think I'm gonna let Samantha talk about how we got started as a group because legitimately, this was her idea. So,
Okay.
Okay, so Chanel and we met, what year was it? 2018?
yes.
Sounds about right.
Hmm.
Yeah. So we met in 2018. We were on a male and female team, also based out of Middle Tennessee. And long story short, um, the male that headed the team did not like to listen to a word I said and didn't value my opinions and my ideas. So I thought about it and I said, you know what? I'm just going to take all your women and leave. And
Oh
that's kind of what
wow.
I did.
Can confirm.
And
That's basically how it went.
Wow.
I was like, okay, ladies, let's go. And
How
hmm?
I was going to say, how many men to ladies was there? Well, how many was he left with? Or was that it?
He was left, I think, with three or four men,
Okay.
and I took, well, me and Chanel took two others with us, so there was four original founding members.
Okay.
And
So you
then
still
I
got a
made up,
team.
yeah. Well, I think they're retired now, but
Ah.
yeah, you know, it happens. Um, but then we kind of started thinking up the name and the logo, and the name was I have a huge thing for acronyms. So, EVP
Hmm.
in paranormal, and it just
Yes.
kind of worked out.
Awesome. So is it strictly a girls group, or can a man join if they want, or is it no men?
We adore our male colleagues, but it's very much just a girls' club as far as our team is concerned.
Hmm.
But we do collaborate with men, and we have some really great friends in the community that have helped us out and are just amazing. So
Awesome.
we don't man hate. We just don't
Yeah, it's
have
not,
any on our team.
yeah.
Yeah.
You're not man haters. Woo!
No, no.
We've been accused of it though,
Oh,
but
Right, we
we're
really?
have.
not.
Really?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Man.
Everybody has to bring their drama to the table.
Oh, I know. People are very tribal, whatever it is,
Yeah.
especially with the paranormal. There seems to be a lot of, yeah. So
Exactly.
I'd like to ask you both, like, how you both got into the paranormal stuff and what sort of experiences you've had.
I'll let you start,
Well,
Chanel.
okay. Well, for me, I mean, I grew up with paranormal my entire life, but didn't really realize what it was until I was like a teenager. I was about 17 years old, and I had moved into my dad's house, and there's just all like these things were just happening, and I had started watching like ghost hunting shows were in like their infancy back then. And so I started watching those and I was like, I started putting like two and two together with like the reported activity on like the TV shows and then what I would experience in the house. And I like got to thinking about it. And, I just asked my dad one day, I was like, is our house haunted? And he was like, well, he's like, I'm going to tell you the same thing that my mother told me when I was young, because my dad's house we're the second family to own it, and it was built sometime around the 1850s.
Mhm.
So my dad grew up in the same house, and he was like, I'm gonna tell you what my mother told me. It's just you leave them alone, and they're gonna leave you alone. And I was like my mind was blown. And really, so from that point in time, like I started researching and going on like ghost walks and things like that. And I wasn't able to become an actual field investigator until 2018, actually, when Sam and I joined that first team, just because I had to go through life and things. But yeah, I feel like that it's always kind of been a calling of mine.
Hmm.
So I've always been kind of like a little spooky.
Yeah. What sort of things were you experiencing in the house?
Oh my gosh. Temperature changes, like rapid temperature changes. One night I was 17 or 18. It was like the same year, like I walked into my bedroom, which is the same room that my grandmother was both born in and also passed away in. And like it was around October, November-ish, and like I remember like being able to see my breath, and I was on the phone with like my boyfriend at that time, and I'm just there like just blowing like I can see my breath. And I went downstairs and told my dad that he needed to turn the heat on. They got to turn the heat on. It's too cold, or you got to turn it up. And he came upstairs, and then he had went into one of the other rooms real quick, and I'm in my doorway of my bedroom, and same thing, could see my breath. As soon as my dad came out of that other room and came behind me, I could no longer see my breath. And I was like, oh my gosh. Lots of like poltergeist type activity, but like there's no nothing bad there. It's all just
Hmm.
family members. My grandmother, she will never leave that house. It's her home. And like she will let you know when she is like upset about something. Even it was like 2 years ago, my father forgot to put flowers out for Mother's Day, and he had like all kinds of activity in the house. So I was like, well, it's because you done messed up. Like, you got to leave her flowers,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, man.
So it's really cool. Yeah.
Wow. So you said poltergeist activity, are things moving around,
Oh,
going
yeah.
missing?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Things would go missing all the time. One night, I used to have, like, of course, we're talking early 2000s here. So I had like all of my CDs lined up next to my television, and they just fell over one night. My grandmother was not a fan of cats, and we're pretty sure that she may have made my one cat that I had go insane, because
Oh,
she did
wow.
not like cats. So yeah, it's yeah, she's definitely lets us know that she's there and she's watching over, and things still have to be her way, even though she's been gone for 24 years.
Yeah. What happened to the cat, man? I need to know.
uh he literally, we had to actually like rehome him. He ended up going to a farm and lived a happy life as a farm cat,
Hmm.
but he like ended up attacking me, attacking my dad. Um,
Oh,
yeah, it was not good. So we had to rehome him to a farm, but he did really well at the farm. So
yeah. I mean, I like cats, but I'm more of a dog person because when cats get angry, man, it's not
yeah,
good.
yeah,
It's not
yeah.
good. My nan used to have a cat that used to jump on your back and like cling onto your back. I don't think it was being
Mhm.
nasty, but it used to really freak me out.
Hey,
Yeah, that's what
Chanel
that
loves my
actually,
cat.
one of them.
You got a friendly cat?
She
I
has
have one
one
friendly one
friendly
and one
cat.
devil cat.
Oh no.
Yes,
So
TC is adorable.
TC, did you say his name
She's
is?
Yeah, her
Yeah,
name is
tiny cat.
TC. Hmm.
Oh, but that's my nan's cat's name. Well, it was my nan's cat's name. That's weird.
That
The cat that used to jump
is
on people's
weird.
backs is called TC. That's strange.
That's funny,
Yeah. Small world, man.
right?
So Chantel, did you see, sorry, Chanel, did
Hmm.
you see anything in the house?
I did. Yeah, like we would always see like shadows and things like that. My dog, he would like go insane, because he would see things all the time. I did wake up one night to, I'm pretty sure it's my grandmother, um, standing beside my bed, like a full like white apparition, and it was like I woke up to that. You know how like when you close your eyes and there's a bright light, like you can see it.
Hmm.
That's what woke me up because of the bright light. I woke up and kind of like partially opened my eyes, and it was this white figure standing right next to my bed. So I think it was her,
Wow.
making sure I was sleeping all right.
Yeah. Wow. Did that must have been quite scary though. When you wake up and you see something there, it's because I've had that. I woke up and saw like the shape of a person.
Hmm.
I've had it a few times.
It didn't really scare me per se, but it definitely jolted me awake. And
Hmm.
like once you wake up, like of course it was gone. But it didn't really scare me
Hmm. Yeah.
even back then. But
Could you see any features or was it just a light?
I couldn't really make out any features. It was definitely looked like a human. Of course my eyes were half lidded, but definitely kind of had like a human figure like you just described. But I could not make out any features. It was just very, very white.
Man, cool experience though.
Yeah, really cool.
Yeah. Did you see anything else in that house or in the house?
I'm sure that I did, but honestly, I can't remember. Like I lived in Tennessee since 2008.
Hmm.
So I lived, well, like I said, like basically my whole life, but I moved quite a few years ago down here. So like just so many, like we would sit there and just kind of talk about like all of our experiences that we had and things like that. My dad and I would be sitting there and like we'd hear like running and stuff going on upstairs. And we would just look at each other like, did you hear that? Yeah, I heard that. You know, just, yeah, lots of experiences there.
Yeah. Cool. Sam, what about you? Where does it start for you?
It starts about the same age as Chanel. So my mother passed away when I was 9 years old. And
Oh,
when I was 16, um, in the middle of the night, my mom came to visit me. And I know I was awake because right after she did, I just started crying and I was sat up in bed and everything. And I had a chance to talk to her and get the closure that I needed. Um, because I was a rotten child. I'm still rotten. I'm just an adult now. Uh, and I got to have that closure that I think I had been longing for since I was 9. And ever since then, I've kind of been interested in it, but it didn't really peak until I moved to Tennessee, which was because I'm from Michigan originally, which was in 2008. So,
when
yeah.
would you be able to explain that experience when you saw your mum? Because that
Um,
sounds incredible.
it was like, she's kind of like a white light around her, but her features were all there. It was just as if she was like sitting next to me. And it sounded like her. She, it was just, it was so long ago, but it was one of those really surreal things.
Hmm.
Um, I don't actually get into depth that much about it, so you'll have to excuse me. I'm just like,
Yeah, no, that's cool. That's cool. No, 'cause
um,
these experiences they're very personal as well. So
yeah.
I fully understand. But was that waking up and seeing her there, or was you awake and she appeared, or?
I was sleeping and then I remember sitting up and then she was there. And I feel like maybe at the start of it I could have been sleeping, but once I realized she was there, like I was awake.
Mhm. Wow, that's a cool experience though, and to get that closure that you needed.
Yeah.
Wow. So from that moment, then that was.
That was it. She had never come to visit me again. I believe she crossed over.
Mhm.
Um, or else I swear to God, she would not leave me alone.
Yeah.
I am my mother reincarnated. I
So you feel like that she needed that closure as well. You both needed that closure for her to
think
move
she
on.
knew I needed it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. That's a cool experience.
Yeah.
Wow.
Then it led me into this, and look at us now.
Yeah. Yeah. So how often do you guys get out? What sort of locations do you go to?
Your turn,
Oh,
Chanel.
yeah, I got this. Yeah. Um, so honestly, anywhere and everywhere. Um, we've been as far south as Mississippi, Alabama, as far north as Ohio. Our rule of thumb is basically like anywhere within a 6 hour range, but like even Poatstown was longer than 6 hours. We went to Mississippi, that was longer than 6 hours. So I think we all have like our own places that we like prefer, to go because um some of us prefer like jails like me. I love jails. There's
Hmm.
something about them that I just love. Other people prefer like hospitals. Others prefer just like anywhere. They don't really have a preference or
I
so
don't really have a preference.
yeah, I do. There's something about the jails, man. I don't know
Yeah.
what it is. That for me, like they're my favorites.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, so I mean, anywhere from historical homes, cemeteries, to old abandoned schools, abandoned hospitals,
Yeah,
basically anywhere.
Poatstown
Hmm.
Elementary School in, God, where was it in Ohio? I can't think of the town right off the bat.
Middletown,
Middletown, Ohio.
Middletown.
Thank you.
Hmm.
That was wild. That was a wild
So
night. That
like
was
it
really,
was.
really cool.
What was happening there?
And what wasn't happening there? Like we
Yeah,
had hits
that's a
on
better question.
everything. Oh my God, it was really cool. And we didn't even scratch the surface of the place. Like maybe we did one floor and there was still two whole floors of this school to explore.
Hmm.
So yeah.
What sort of
Um,
things were going on?
Oh, I mean, an awesome Estes method. Actually, I think more than one. Like, because we did Estes a couple different nights or a couple different times that night. I mean, every Estes method was just like awesome. Lots of activity with like the equipment going off, lots of interactions. We had like something chasing us, like a shadow chasing us.
Whoa.
I can't even like,
oh yeah, that kept popping its head up
yeah.
inside the gym.
Hmm.
That one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
What sort of shadow? How
Uh,
big was it?
It was says looked
uh,
like a taller man.
hmm.
Man.
Yeah, so maybe
And
like a
I think
6 foot.
they said that God, who did they say he thought or they thought he was? Was it the
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 janitor.
janitor? Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah.
Whoa, that's freaky, man.
Yeah. It
And
was really cool.
there was actually a film there too. And in the guest book, that was really kind of cool to see. I don't know if you flipped through it, Chanel, but I was reading some of the guest passages in it and some of the
Hmm.
crew, and I don't ask me because I can't remember exactly what they said, uh, actually retold some of their accounts while working on the film there. And it was a film with Timothy Chalamet, and I'm trying to remember the name of it.
Oh, I can't remember, but yeah, that was because they have that room like not. I mean, it's still accessible, but it has like what is it like the Timothy Chalamet room or something like that, Sam?
Something
What
like
was
that.
that?
But the movie
Yeah.
that he was in, yeah, some of the crew and the cast and stuff signed the book, and just to like hear them or just knowing that they experienced stuff too while filming is pretty cool.
Hmm.
Yeah. And
I'm trying to see if I could
were
find.
they talking experiencing stuff similar to what you guys were experiencing as well?
Oh yeah, like if you flip through that book, there's a lot of similarities. So it's like if that many people are experiencing the same things, we can't be
Hmm.
wrong.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. When you say he's being chased by the shadow figure, how was that happening?
It like just like Samantha said, we would be sitting in the like in the gym, and like he would like be looking out and we could see him, because there's like a big open gym and then there's a doorway. And so he would be poking his head out the doorway. And multiple people saw him, not just like Samantha and myself, but because there was what, six of us, seven of us there.
Yeah, not to
Um
mention we had a grid up on that wall and a trip
mhm.
light running across the back of it, and every time it popped out, it would trip both of them.
Man.
And it would follow to different rooms too. Like we could see up in, what was it, the second floor hallway as well?
Yeah, yeah. We saw him up there. Um, we're not quite sure. So, like at the end of the night, we had a pretty interesting um session. And I don't know necessarily if that was him because I can't remember, Sam. Did we think that that was him at the very end of the night, or did we think that was something or someone else?
Um, Personally, for me, I feel like it was something else because I didn't get
Same.
the same feeling that I had seeing
Mm-hmm.
it previously.
What happened
Very
there, man?
uncomfortable, very unsafe, kind
I'll
of,
let you
but
know
not
Abby's
really.
story. Tell him what happened to
Gotcha.
Abby and how I was just
So,
like, yeah, no.
yeah. Well, not just you, both of us were like, no,
Oh
no,
yeah.
no. So Samantha and I, one thing about us when we investigate is number one, we don't call out like everything that we see, hear, feel, etc.
Hmm.
But Samantha and I are also very in tune when we investigate together. And so at the very end of the night, it's a dry goods room right outside of the cafeteria. And
And it's pitch black, like
yes.
no light at all, not even a sliver.
And we're sitting in there, and it's me, Samantha, Abigail, and another investigator. And Abigail, she's 20, but she's very, very, very spiritually gifted. Um, and also, like, she's not really, because she's very spiritually gifted, she really needs like a mentor, to learn how to really use her gifts appropriately and like figure out discernment and things like that. And so we're sitting there, and like I personally, like, I get this feeling, and I'm like, something ain't right. Samantha also gets the same feeling, we're like, there's somebody else in here, and Abby says there's somebody else in here. And she's like, I feel like a kid or something. And Sam, please correct me if I like get anything wrong, because that was a couple months ago. But she's talking about like, oh, I feel like there's a child and blah blah blah. Um and I can't remember if was it that we both were like, no, that's not a kid, or what. Do you remember, Sam? Because I'm not
She
remembering
said
like the
something to the realm
details in
of like, I
between.
feel like it's a child and
Mm-hmm.
maybe they just want to play. And that's
That
when
was
I was
it.
just
Yeah.
like, it's not a child.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that
Samantha.
was like
Yep.
the moment you're like, yep, I agree. And we're like, yep, let's go. Because
Yeah.
it was probably more oppressive than anything I felt investigating in a long time.
Mm-hmm. Did not feel fun at
What do,
all.
what do you think it was?
Um,
I don't know.
I couldn't say for sure, to be honest.
Mm-mm.
Whatever it was, it wasn't nice.
You just got a bad vibe.
Oh,
Yes.
terrible. And like, if you ask Chanel, like Chanel knows, like I don't pick up, I don't spook easy. I don't.
Hmm.
Mm-mm.
Um, but that was just like setting off alarm bells in my head. Like, all right, we
Mm-hmm.
gotta go. We
Yeah,
gotta get
Yeah,
out.
we gotta go.
man. So how does the dynamic of your group work? Do you have skeptics in the team? Do you
Oh
have
yeah.
psychics in the team? How does what's the
So we don't have like any like psychics. We don't have any like identified mediums, like that's like what they claim. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? A bunch of us though are spiritually gifted, in various forms, right? Because that's a spectrum. Um, so I personally feel like that Abigail and Janice are probably the most spiritually gifted of our girls. Um, so like for me, I identify as an intuitive empath. Sometimes I know things at random. Sometimes I get feelings. I can look at pictures and get a feeling off of a picture. And if I ever meet like a human and I don't like them, there's always a reason.
Mhm.
Um, I know that like Samantha, you kind of identify as like sensitive, correct?
Mm, we'll go with that. Yeah.
Okay, there we go.
I'm a sensitive skeptic.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And like I told
Yeah.
Chanel, like when we went to Poatstown, like I was very kind of just burnt out on the paranormal because I don't know, I have to have something profound happen to me to keep me interested.
Hmm.
And that place kind of reawoke me wanting to keep doing this.
Interesting. And was that was obviously being chased by a shadow figure? I mean, that'll do it. And
Yeah.
Just the whole location in general,
yeah.
it was awesome.
So what do you guys, this difficult question, but what do you guys think is going on with the paranormal? I know that is a very loaded
Oh,
question.
that's a broad
That is
spectrum
a
question.
Yeah,
broad
yeah.
spectrum.
Are,
We're
are,
So I
only
are
know,
we talking are we
second.
talking like the community or
no, not like, yeah, so no, so what do you think is happening? What do you think there's another realm? Do you think it's just people that are past that are stuck in limbo? What do you think is going on? I know that's a very loaded question, and
Very loaded and
yeah,
very multi-layered.
hmm, yeah,
So and so I can give you my opinion. I like, because mine's probably different than Samantha's, and I don't know that she and I have ever actually discussed
mm.
this in the years that we've been friends.
There
But
we
right?
so for
go.
me, yeah, I believe in like different planes, right?
Okay.
So I believe that we have the most spirits that we deal with here on, are like the residual human spirits, whether they were good people in their lives or bad people in their lives. If they were good in their living life, they're going to typically be a good spirit. If they were not so nice in their human, life, they're typically not a very nice spirit. Um, so, oh, look, I made a
What
little
was
thumbs up.
that?
I made a thumbs up.
Someone
How did I
someone
do
agreed
that?
with you there. That's for sure.
Somebody did.
I don't know if
Apparently,
I've
I'm
ever seen that.
right.
I don't know if I've ever seen that before. I didn't know that was possible.
That's weird.
So for people
But
listening, a little thumb just came up on our screen. I don't know what that was,
yeah,
but there we go.
okay, cool.
The spirits agreed with you there.
Yeah, well, so this house I live in now is currently haunted, so he might be
Ah,
behind me, but I don't feel him.
oh,
That's really, I feel
interesting.
him. But yeah, so like I said, I believe that there's like the planes. I also do believe in the inhuman spirit. So I believe in elementals. I believe in the D word. I believe in angels. I believe in all of that. And I believe that they're on a different plane,
Hmm.
a different dimension. So like I guess they would be considered interdimensional beings. Um, but don't ask me my opinion on aliens because I'm gonna tell you I don't think that they exist.
Interesting. Okay.
Which some people say that's
I'm
like
sure.
contradictory.
I'm sure I would have asked you that at some point, and we'll come back to that.
But yeah, that's my opinion
Yeah.
of it.
Interesting. Okay. Sam, same question to you.
See, as far as my opinion goes, I believe that they're just spirits that have not crossed over or have chosen to stay by will.
Hmm.
I feel like maybe that's a choice that we get to make. But that's very much just one of the things where we'll just never know until we
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
Um,
It's a
but I
difficult question.
do believe in aliens.
Ah,
So,
yes.
I mean, with the universe being so vast, it's just kind of like, how do we assume that we're the only ones?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
for sure.
that I agree with. I don't think that we got little green men on this planet, though.
No, we
Yeah.
got little orange men.
Yeah, that's me.
Okay. Yeah, I
I've
agree with
seen
that, though.
I've seen things in the sky that I can't explain. On a
Yes.
on a number of different occasions. I've seen things that that I can only describe as being a UFO, or UFOs.
Well,
Yeah.
there are like things, like they're documented UFOs. So
Hmm.
it's like, but
What
I
they
don't know
are.
that they're necessarily coming from Mars.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah. We don't know what they are, but there does seem to be things up there.
Yeah.
Sam, have you seen anything?
Um, not up in the sky. It's really weird. So how old was I? I was probably like 15, 14. I got this really, really big obsession with like extraterrestrials and UFOs. But I've never seen anything personally, but I remember my grandma lived in this assisted living community and they had this library there.
Hmm.
And I found this book on extraterrestrials. And it was just really interesting. And to the point where me, as a 14 or 15-year-old child, was going through the could you be an extraterrestrial checklist? And I'm just like, maybe I am. But no,
Interesting.
on a more serious note, I do believe that the universe is just too vast for us to be the only ones.
Yeah, for sure.
But if I were a UFO driving by Earth, like I would lock my doors.
Yeah.
So.
Don't
Go
come
right
in.
on out that neighborhood. We don't
are
want
a
'em
mess.
here.
We are a mess. Keep going. Keep going.
Oh, they're already destroying their planet. Oh well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's find the next one.
We don't need to get involved in that. Chinelle, you just said your house now is haunted.
Yes.
What are you experiencing?
Oh, well, if you ask my daughter, she will tell you that it wasn't haunted until I brought all the things home with me. I beg to differ. She just didn't realize. So we have two spirits here in my house. One of them is named Jim. He's my main one. And then we also have either his brother or his nephew, Robert. We're not 100% sure which one. I live on an old, it's now a subdivision. Actually, it's like 3 or 4 subdivisions. But at one point in time, it was a plantation. It was the Desjardins Plantation in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. And so the main spirit that we have, Jim, is Jim Desjardins. I fully believe that he's not attached to the house. He's attached to the land because he's kind of transient. Robert is even more transient. Like, we really see Jim more than we do Robert. They are different in how they like interact. Jim, he loves to hang out upstairs. But when it's like, that's during the day. During the night, he likes to come downstairs. And Jim likes to make a lot of racket and a lot of noise. And 2 nights ago, I was working on something, I don't know, Canva or whatever. And I was in my garage doing it on my phone. And my kids are not home right now. They're actually at their father's house. And so up in my daughter's room, all I hear is a whole bunch of racket. And I'm like, oh. So he was up there running around, doing whatever. He prefers my son's room, actually, and kind of like hides in there. I don't tell my son that because he would never sleep in his room again. But that is legitimately where he prefers to be. And so like he also likes my kitchen. And one night we were on my couch. You can see my couch. And it was me, my husband, and my stepdaughter, actually Abby, Abigail. We were watching some kind of horror movie, and the way that our back door is set up, I don't know if you can kind of see it, but like here's my back door, right? I don't know if you can see it with my mouse, but so we're able to see at nighttime, like if we had the lights off because we're watching a horror movie, and you could see the shadows, and like all we saw, he was just in the kitchen just having a good old time, and both me and my husband are sitting on the couch like completely distracted because we kept seeing him moving in the kitchen. Wow. Yeah, so that's Jim. He lets me know when he's around, and he and I sometimes have arguments, and I've had to yell up the stairs at him to stop it. I was trying to work, or him irritating the dog or something. But yeah, that's Jim. So Robert, he's more quiet. Your pod's gonna die.
And the AirPod has died.
And we're gone.
It's all right. You still have me.
Is she coming back?
Oh,
She's
yeah.
coming back, I think.
Yeah.
So, have you had any experiences with these guys?
With her ghosts?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
I have been over there to her house multiple times, but I have not experienced Jim.
Not yet.
Not yet. But when I go over to her house, it's usually just like to pick her up so we can go travel somewhere to go ghost hunting, though, in all fairness.
Yeah.
So I never really hang out there like that long. And I think the last time I hung out there for an extended period of time, like 2 bottles of wine were involved. So, like best friends too.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Chinelle, are you back on, or do you want me to pause it for a second while you sort it out? I'll put it on pause.
All right.
Okay, we're back. We had a spare set of headphones. which was
We
really
did.
cool. And we're back. Where was we?
We
I
were
don't.
talking about Jim.
Oh, we
Yes.
were talking about Jim. Oh, and then Robert. Yeah. So Robert, he is definitely not nearly as obnoxious. Um, but I can like feel, like I said, because I can feel the difference between the two of them. So I can always tell if it's Jim or Robert. Robert's definitely a lot more quiet. He just kind of like sticks to himself. But like I said, I can feel when he's here.
Hmm.
Jim's the obnoxious one. He likes to just throw a fit. And I have to forewarn him before I stage, just to let him know that it's about to come, and otherwise he's gonna really throw a fit with me. Um,
Wow.
yeah. He actually, like, if you go into our TikTok, we have a grandfather clock which is up there above the fireplace,
Hmm.
and it has not worked. It's actually broken. So it has one of those spinny things inside of it, and it's broken, doesn't work. And so one night, it's like 1 o'clock in the morning, I was on the phone with one of my friends, and like I got pulled to the kitchen, like something was like, go to the kitchen, and I go into the kitchen and the grandfather clock was spinning. So there's a whole, it's on our TikTok. So it's pretty cool. I'm
Wow.
pretty sure that was Jim that was like fixed it or something, or it was grandpa. I mean, could have been him too. Because
So,
the Desjardins family and my husband's family, they actually intermarried back in the day.
mhm.
So there's that as well.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So do you see these entities, spirits?
I have only seen like a handful, but I can feel them. Like I
Okay.
can feel when, kind of like Samantha and I, when we were talking about post time, like we could feel, not only could we see that one, right, but we could also feel them. And we were talking about those entities and they felt different.
Hmm.
I can feel them. I typically can't like see them, but occasionally I can. Um, yeah, that's basically it. And I can feel things off of like pictures. And I just get like, sometimes I just know things.
Hmm. Yeah. I think there's something to that with
Mhm.
because we get like an impression of someone that we don't really know and stuff like that. And there's something to that is paranormal because
Mhm.
it's like a
That's
sense
that
that
higher conscious thing.
we've got
There's
senses
a
that
whole theory around that.
mm, there's more to us, I think, like to everyone.
Yes. Yeah. Well, we only use, what is it, like X amount of percent of our brains, like
Yeah.
25, 30%, something like that. So
Yeah.
when you look at like higher conscious theory, that's where all of that other like psychical abilities and things like that come into play.
Hmm. Yeah. Interesting stuff. Sam, other than the time you woke up and you saw your mum there, have you seen anything else?
Um, yeah, so after we started the team, I can't remember. I think it was Wheeldon where I picked this little girl up.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Wheeldon Manor. Man, let me tell you, that little girl just rained hell upon my life.
Mm-hmm. Can confirm. Yeah.
It was so funny because I didn't even know I brought anything back with me. Like everything felt fine for like what, a week or two after that. I
A week
was
or two.
fine.
Yeah, it took us like 3 months, and then like in conversation, because her life did like really kind of just go sideways during that time. And like I think it was what, like 3 4 months later when we were on the phone and we're talking about it, and I think I was like, did you get an attachment?
I was like, I think I freaking did, and it's ruining my life. But it was so funny because
Wow.
I was coming up the stairs. I was living with a roommate at the time, and I was coming up the stairs, and I was bounding up the stairs, and like at the top of the stairs, there's this little girl with brown hair and a white dress just staring at me and vanished like in a second. And I'm just like, well, F me. And then I started getting really uncomfortable, like in my own space. And from that time on, my life was just crap. And it was just like one thing after the other too. And I'm just like, what is this?
Man.
And and it continued to rain hell upon my life for what, 3 months?
More than that, maybe. But I know the first 3 months, like after that, were probably the worst. And that was what, late 2020. 2018 into 2019. Like, that was such a rough time for you.
Yeah.
And then it just slowly got better. And I think, like, because you, if I remember right, and granted, of course, I've slept a little bit since then in the last 6 years, but like, you kept reporting that you were seeing her. And then all of a sudden, like, she went away one day and you stopped seeing her. Is that right? Am I
Yeah, but
remembering that right?
I caught glimpses out of the corner of my eye, but like
Mhm.
I only had seen her like full on once. And I
Wow.
was terrified of my closet for some reason. I don't, like I said, I
Mhm.
don't scare easy. I don't. I'll go anywhere. I'll do anything. I don't care.
hmm
But there's something about this little
That little
devil child.
Wow.
And
So,
I think it all ended. Correct me if I'm wrong, because I think I got in my accident in June. So it went on for a few
Yeah,
months.
it was May or June. Yeah, that
And
you got into your
wow.
accident.
after my accident, no, I'm trying to get my timeline right because it was so many years ago. But I
Mhm.
know it ended with an accident. And after that, it kind of just went away.
I mean, you don't have to tell us if you don't want to, but can I ask you what the accident was? But you haven't got to say if you don't
Motor
want.
vehicle,
Oh, oh man.
like probably 3 minutes from my house.
Mhm.
And you were experiencing a lot of negative stuff leading up to that as well.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. God. Um, the whole
You
reason
went
I lived
into,
with a
like,
roommate,
yeah, a
huh?
severe depression. So you went into
Yeah,
a severe depression.
yeah. And then there's a few things that happened that I'd rather not say,
Yeah, no,
but
that's cool. Yeah.
uh yeah, it was just she wasn't nice at all.
Mhm.
She was
hmm
very rude.
Very rude.
So you were seeing her? Was you hearing her as well and stuff like that?
I wasn't hearing her. She never said anything. And I think that was also creepy part, but
hmm Yeah, man. I've talked to a few people that have picked up attachments and describing the same sort of thing as you, that their life just went from okay to like really bad things happening. And that's scary.
yeah.
That's the scary side to this paranormal world.
Oh
Mhm.
yeah. And
But the,
like that's I don't think Chinelle, you've ever had an attachment, right?
Not that I know of.
But to see
I
where
don't think
we
I have.
differ in that, like I've had that, but I haven't been personally attacked at a site either, where
That's
you
true.
have.
I have.
oh wow. Well, we got to get into that.
He just got so excited. He's like, really?
Yeah.
Yes.
Tell me when you got attacked. I'm sorry. Can
Go
I
ahead,
just
tell him.
before we go to that, can I just
Uh-huh.
how did the attachment, how did you lose the attachment? Was it after the accident?
I'm not sure. It was after the accident, and it was just like it was that feeling of they're just not there anymore. I'm not scared to go in my own space or be in my own space, and I stopped seeing her. Just that whole feeling went away.
Yeah. Do you know where you picked her up from?
Yeah, Wheeldon Manor in
And
Central City,
how?
Kentucky. I don't
Yeah.
know how.
How? Yeah.
Yes, we know how.
How? Enlighten me.
Sam can astral project.
Oh shit.
And
Oh, sorry. I don't know if I can curse on
Yeah,
here.
you can swear. That's fine. That's fine.
yeah, and so she projected, which of course back then she couldn't control it, but she projected during Wheeldon Manor and left her shell open.
Yeah, that's probably how that happened. Okay, you're right. I'm sorry. Sorry, Mom.
Wow. You can astral project as well.
So,
He's like so interested in
Yeah,
it.
I'm writing
I
that
love
down.
it.
okay, so up until like probably 2018-ish, like I didn't even know that that was a thing or that it had a name. But I've been
hmm
doing it since the third grade. And like a lot of people that astral project, they do it when they're um like lucid dreaming.
hmm
I do mine wide awake.
Man, you wasn't going to tell me that.
I mean, it's not something I think about that often, or I think is that interesting, really, because
That's
it's just
very
like,
interesting. Yeah. Can you?
With her business.
Yeah.
Her business.
thanks now.
You're welcome.
Do you mind? Can you tell us the process of that, if you don't mind?
It's not. I just kind of do it. I don't pick when I do it because if I like try to focus and do it, I can't.
Okay.
So it just happens at random. Like I'll be sitting somewhere, we'll be doing something, and I'll just zone out. Like Chinelle sees it too. I just go blank. And
Wow.
it's not like I go particularly anywhere or to any great destination. It's just kind of like I'm over my body and I don't leave the building.
Was you're looking down at yourself?
hmm And then I can move, but I don't leave the building ever.
Wow.
It's the weirdest thing.
Do
I
you
know.
feel like you could, if you wanted to, you could
I
go
think I'm too
anywhere?
scared to. I'm too scared
Yeah,
to.
yeah, yeah. No, I don't blame you. It's wow, because that is something that really fascinates me. Astral projection. I don't think I've ever done it. Um, yeah, I know a lot of people say it happens in, as you said, in dreams and stuff like that.
hmm
But that's wild.
Yeah, I didn't even know it had a name until I think it's Chanel that told me.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? I
How
thought it
often
was
does that happen?
now here lately, I think because of all like my school and work stress, it doesn't happen as much. But it used to happen pretty frequently.
Wow.
Um, yeah, I find it harder to just kind of detach from myself nowadays.
Hmm.
So once in a blue moon, I would say
Yeah.
now, as to where before it was just like, I could probably do it on every investigation if I wanted to.
Yeah. When you're astral projecting, can you see anything else in the room that's not there when you're in the physical body?
Um, no, because I feel like for me, it's such a weird feeling, and I don't want to say like a rush, but it's definitely different. Um, I don't, I feel like I don't tend to focus on what I'm supposed to be focusing on.
Hmm.
I'm sure with some like meditation or whatever, I could get there, but
Yeah, for
who's got
sure.
time for that?
For sure. Yeah. Man. When you was out and did you did you feel the little girl come in? Or
No, I didn't feel anything. It was just, I got smacked, I think, but that was by Chanel.
It's like, fan.
wow.
She's like, hello.
Because you were like, it was so weird. And I remember, like, now that we're talking about it, like, I'm visualizing it and, like, just sitting across from you in, like, this room. And I'm just like, what the heck is up with her? Because she just looks so weird, like not weird. I guess that's the wrong word, but like differently. She had a different look.
Yeah.
And I remember just being like, bro, like, what up?
So you didn't know she could do this?
No. Mm-mm. Yeah, it wasn't until we were talking
Wow.
about it. And then I was like, oh, wait, you can astral project? Like, that's so cool.
That is
And
so
I was
cool.
like, I can what? But I remember even doing it in like third grade. I remember because like I remember the first time I did it, I was in the classroom.
Wow.
And I
It's
think
like,
it started happening right around the time my mom passed, because my mom had passed in third grade.
mhm.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Do you think that's something to do with the stress that you was, it must have been very difficult.
I don't know. It could have been.
Mm.
Again, I was 9 years old. What the hell do I know at 9 years
Yeah,
old, you know?
yeah, for sure. Man. Are you ever tempted to I won't say fly off, I don't know, but are you tempted to explore more in that?
Other times I've done it, I've been too scared. I've just been like, we're cool here. We can just chill here.
Yeah. Wow. Man. So when you had that attachment and you were telling the rest of the team the things you were experiencing, was their reaction like, oh, this is wild because you're not normally like that. You're normally the skeptical one.
I feel like that's a better question for Nell since she watched it.
Hmm.
I think that so she picked up that attachment on our previous team right before the Vixens were formed. So the other like team members really didn't get to see it and experience like like I did, you know. Of course, like I'm also her best friend, so it's different.
Hmm.
Um, so I think that that's just it because, but Sam, I mean, she, like I said, she went through it like real bad, for a while there. And, you know, like our other friends, like they had noticed it too. But it was just like, you know, she'll get through this. It's just, you know, she's having a rough time. It's been a whole lot of whatever. Um, yeah. And then I think that for myself as her best friend, when we realized that it was potentially an attachment, like that was like an awakening, like, oh, okay. Like makes so much sense because really like it was really like she went through it really roughly for at least 3 to 6 months. Like it was a bad time for her.
Wow.
Yeah, made me never want to
Man.
get an attachment, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
not nice.
Hmm.
Mm-mm.
Rather rude, if I do say so myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's the scary side to this sort of stuff. I know it's fun and it's super interesting, but there is a dangerous side to this as well, isn't there?
Yes. There is.
And they say you look into the paranormal and it looks back,
Yes.
which is I'm certainly experiencing that, and I have
hmm
experienced that. And yeah, scary stuff. I want to get into your getting attacked. I've written that down. I didn't forget it. What happened if you don't mind sharing that?
Well, I learned two very valuable lessons that night. Um, Number one, always wear your protection because the number one thing that I fully believe I would have not gotten attacked had I had my protection on me. I didn't have any crystals on me. And you know, girl ghost hunters, we will put crystals everywhere we can on our bodies, right? Because they work best when they're directly touching your skin. And so that night I didn't like, you know, I was busy like setting up the DVR system and doing all the things, you know, and I was like, I'll be fine. Like I'll put them on later. Forgot, legitimately just forgot because of how busy we were. And so, you know, of course we have a no like heavy provocation rule, right? Like in that rule of if you don't feel like yourself, if you feel like the need to provoke, if you feel, you know, if you start to feel sick, all those rules, right, that we have. Well, I didn't listen to our own rules that we established a couple years prior. And Sam and I, so we were at the Moore County Jail in Lynchburg, Tennessee. And when we first walked in, Sam had said something to me about like something about like jail cell number 4 or something. I can't remember because this was a while ago, but she felt something about cell number 4. So when we're doing the tour or whatever, Mr. Ronnie, who at that time was running the investigations there, Ronnie Headley, he talked about this one gentleman that was there. His name was Mr. Nasty, and he's like, he's in jail cell number 4. And I remember Samantha turning to me and be like, I knew it. I knew there was something about jail cell number 4. And this was our very first time being there, by the way. And so it's, you know, we get everything set up, whatever we're investigating, and she and I are in cell number 4 together. And for me, like, I just started to feel like, you know, he didn't like women. He had already called us a whole bunch of names, and all kinds of things, and like yelled at us through the portal, and, you know, and of course, we were forewarned by Ronnie that he doesn't like women in his cell. So, of course, me and Samantha, we're going to go in, right? Um, and I remember just feeling like kind of, I can't, I don't know, kind of not angry necessarily, but like I needed to clap back. Like, you know, like when you like fight with your spouse, right? And you just got to clap back. Um, because I mean, like, I don't do cardio, but I definitely run my mouth. He will tell you. And so I was feeling the same way. Like, I need to clap back. And I think Samantha looked at me at one point in time, if I remember correctly, and she was like, I just feel kind of like angry or whatever. I was like, yeah, bro, me too. So I get like kind of an attitude, and I'm like, well, what do you think about there being women in your cells? And, you know, just provoking. And it wasn't long after that, and I can't remember the exact time frame, but I started to not feel well. And I kind of felt like it was kind of like difficult to breathe. And Sam, because once again, we're in tune, Sam looks at me and she's like, you're right. I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. And it was about a minute or so later, and I was like, I got to get out of here because I could not breathe. And so like we got me out of the building. It took a full hour and a half for my breathing to get back to like regulated. And what's so weird is like because I could only like shallow breathe. And what was so weird was that I literally heard a voice in my head tell me to cough. Like, you know, you force yourself to cough to reset
Mm-hmm.
your breathing. I heard a voice in my head telling me to cough. And I coughed, and then all of a sudden I was able to breathe in like like a deep breath. Um, so then Samantha and I, we ended up going back in the bathroom and like just all on my chest and on my back. Like I was all red. Um, it's
You
kind
had
of
print
wild.
marks on the front of your throat. We took a picture of it. It's
Yeah,
somewhere.
that's right. Somewhere in the archives. So yeah, learned a valuable lesson. And every time that somebody will tell me, well, I don't know why you use them crystals, like I don't believe in that, I'll be like, oh, but I do. Because I
Mm-hmm.
fully believe that's the only investigation I've never worn any type of protection on. Um, so I fully believe had I been wearing those, I wouldn't have been attacked.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, don't mess with my crystals. Let me have my
Yeah.
amethyst and my black obsidian.
Wow. So you've never experienced anything else like that? That was a one-off thing because you didn't have the crystals.
Yeah,
Interesting.
I didn't have the crystals. And like I've had other things happen where like, you know, I've been affected one time. And it was during the Estes method, and I was out of the Scott County jail. And like, but I, being an experienced investigator, recognized what was going on, also being empathic. Like I recognized what was going on, and I pulled myself out of Estes and looked at my friend and was like, I need to get out of this building. And ran out of the building and went and grounded myself. I knew what I was doing in that moment. And I'm thankful for my experience because I feel like that with that in particular, it was I was hearing there were two different voices. I was hearing a female who was like very scared and had lots and lots of emotion, and then this male voice that was overpowering her, and like the things that he was saying and his tone of voice, and then like her just I could feel all of her emotions, and so like I ended up like I said leaving that jail, also jails, and like I said, if I feel like that if I were a newer investigator, the outcome would have been different.
Mm-hmm.
So, but even that, like I of course had crystals on there, but you know, it was totally different. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, because I still had control during that time, whereas with the what happened at the Moore County Jail, there was no control over it.
Yeah. Man. I just saw a light flash behind your head. What was that? Was that something?
Oh, I don't know.
Did you see that,
No,
Sam?
I don't have unless there's my dogs back there.
I just
No,
I,
she's not.
I just thought I saw a flash or something.
You
I
may
saw it
have.
too.
Did you see
It's
that?
probably Jim.
I'm
I
not
saw it too.
I'm not going mad, am
It's
I?
probably Jim.
No, you're not going mad.
Yeah.
I saw it too.
What was that?
Like I said, he just be around.
Interesting. I have to look back on that. Oh. So I normally ask like, your freakiest experiences, scariest experiences. Have you shared it sounds like you possibly have shared the scariest stuff that's happened, or is there anything else that stands out for you guys?
I mean, I think that scary is like subjective, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I really don't get scared, but if you want to talk about the only time that I've screamed on an investigation is because like we were at a place that we did an undisclosed location last year. I mean, it was me and Jessica upstairs, and this bathroom door came open and scared the crap out of us. It's the only time that I've screamed on an investigation, mainly because I don't think I was expecting it, but I
Mm-hmm.
wasn't. I mean, necessarily scared, just kind of jump scared at that
Yeah.
time. You know.
Yeah. Sam, have you got any?
Um, like I said, I don't scare easy.
Mm-mm.
I don't, and I hate it because I want to be scared.
I do. I scare
Uh,
very easily.
I don't,
I've
and I
noticed
wish I
that
did.
it's always the men.
Yeah.
Boys get
Um,
scared easy.
Yeah, we do. We do, man. I know. I love it.
let's,
When I experience something, I'm very interested, obviously, but I do get very scared.
Mm.
um, hmm. I don't think I have anything that really scared me. Like everything, every time I feel like I've seen like some legitimate form of evidence, I've just been very excited.
Yeah, for sure.
Hmm.
What would you say
Um,
is the best evidence you guys have got so far?
I know what
mm,
mine is,
what's yours?
but that same location with the door. Um, it was evidence that can never be released because it's way too personal for Raina. Um, so that to me is one of my most memorable investigations because Raina was able to get a lot of closure during that investigation. And somebody very near and dear to her that she had lost. And we will never release that footage.
That's cool.
No, no.
I
Like,
think
and
one of
it's like,
the
I'm getting goosebumps every time I
Oh
talk about it.
wow,
It was so cool, though. Very cool.
that is cool. I mean, I don't know what it was, but
um
it sounds
Hmm.
when you get goosebumps, you know it's something special.
Yeah.
one of the coolest pieces of evidence for me was when we went to Mississippi at the Adela County Jail,
Hmm.
and we put the 360 in front of that door. You know that door,
Hmm.
what I'm talking about.
I
What
know
we
that
can't say
door.
what's behind it because we were
Hmm.
instructed not to say what was behind the door.
Allegedly,
Uh,
reportedly.
yes, but I can say what it was. It was an old evidence locker,
Okay.
and I said some. I know the video is posted up on our page, but I think I
Yeah.
said something to the realm of, "Is it because of? Are you? Is it because of what's behind this door?" And like the moment I said that, like it started lighting up, and it was really cool. And it pointed because you know how the 360 just has just several points going around it. It pointed right at that door.
Cool.
Um,
Cool experience, man.
Hmm. That was cool.
I've got to ask
and
you
I.
guys.
Oh
Oh,
no,
sorry.
sorry. Go ahead.
No, you go.
I was just gonna say the only other one that comes to mind that's like very prominent is I believe it was our first investigation
Hmm.
together, me and Chanel, not as yeah, it wasn't with EVP. It was our probably second to last investigation with the team that we were on prior.
Hmm.
And we went to Octagon Hall in Franklin, Kentucky. And it was like 3 or 4 a.m. We were getting ready to wrap up the night. And me and Chanel were sitting watching the screens. And I'm like, I just feel like I need to go to the dining room and do an EVP session. So I get up and I head to the dining room and I kind of stop in the doorway and I'm looking at this table. And on this table, there was like a silver tray with one of those flameless candles on it with the switch that goes all the way from the right to the left. But the candle was turned on. So I was like, okay, was this candle turned on the whole time? And because I felt something, we were able to go and find it in footage later.
I think I'm looking on my phone. I think I have that footage on my phone,
That's
which
cool.
means if I have it on my phone, I have it on my computer because it's a Mac. I'm looking real quick.
That's cool. Where do you guys post your content? Is it all on social media? You on YouTube as well?
Not so much YouTube, a lot of
Yeah, I'm bad
Facebook
about
and a lot of
YouTube.
TikTok.
Mm-hmm. You got it on there?
We
Yeah, I'm
really
bad
need to have
about.
an evidence review party because we are very far behind. We've had other things in life happening,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, of course. Of course.
and evidence review takes a long time. But if you do it with friends and you just roast each other the entire time, it's way better.
It
Yeah.
is a lot of fun. Can
So
confirm.
how often are you guys getting out? I think I've asked you this already, but how often are you guys getting out investigating?
Um, we try to really kind of do things once a month. But we've honestly we haven't really investigated. So our next one will be at Octagon Hall, where Samantha was talking about. We're hosting the novice hunts there the first weekend in October. Um, so like but we do like conventions and we do public events also. Like last weekend or the weekend before last weekend, like we helped another team at a public event. Um, we kind of got a lot of like collaborative things going on.
Hmm.
Um, So, but the ultimate goal is like once a month.
Yeah.
Some months we're really good about that. Other months we got all these other things going on, you know. So
October, we're just like a chaotic train wreck
I
every
bet.
year.
absolutely.
Spooky
Every
season.
year.
Spooky season.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, it's awesome stuff. I'm going to be following and watching. I'm looking forward to see what
Awesome.
you guys get, and yeah, keep up the great work. I've got to ask you, because you guys are in Tennessee. I love Bigfoot.
Mhm.
Have you guys got any experiences with Bigfoot or
I
anything
haven't
like that?
I haven't personally. I know that there's a group
Mm-mm.
that has not in Tennessee, but right above us in Kentucky, they've had a lot of activity.
Oh wow.
So not too far from us.
Where do you guys
Because I
stand with Bigfoot?
I don't know. Honestly.
Hmm.
I don't really have a valid opinion on it because I've never been like squatching or anything like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I know people that do it. So there's gotta be some kind of draw to it.
Do you know anyone that's seen one?
Mm, I
So I've
want to
just got
say
to
yes,
ask.
but I don't know who.
That's cool. That's cool. That's cool. I'd love to get over to Tennessee and go to the Smoky Mountains and check all that
Mm-hmm.
out because it's such a cool
Mhm.
place. It's a cool area full of high strangeness.
Oh yeah.
From what I hear, I talk to a lot of people from Tennessee, and I definitely
Mhm.
want to get over there.
Yeah, we've been wanting to get over to a Brushy Mountain Penitentiary over
Yeah,
in East Tennessee.
Mhm.
yeah,
So
Hey,
awesome.
well, they had who we were with Friday night. They had said about 2025 brushy. I don't think I got to tell you that yet.
Let's go.
all right.
Awesome stuff,
That
guys.
that would be the most expensive investigation for you. With a plane ticket and everything. Oh Lord.
Mm.
Chanel, have you seen Bigfoot? Just before we
I
wrap it
have
up.
not seen Bigfoot.
Not yet.
Not yet. So when it comes to Bigfoot, I'm also skeptical, but I'm
Hmm.
very curious. So my thing is where like there's no bones, right? And like my husband and I have talked about this because he's like a big like Bigfoot person. And I'm like, but
Legend.
there's no bones. Like
Yeah.
and
Or do they find bones and they just
right, or exactly. So I feel like that if Bigfoot are here, then number one, they are definitely like in like living in cave systems or something like that. Um, and they know how to get rid of their, they probably do like death rituals, right? And they're
yeah.
not the only like animal to do death rituals, because
Hmm.
other animals do those. So I feel like that's got to be it. Like, because I will love the idea. I love the idea that there's Bigfoot or Big Feet or baby Big Feet or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
um, but it's like there's no bones.
Well, I
Where
read
are
a
the
book.
bones?
I read a book, a really cool Bigfoot book called Enoch, and I'm terrible with names. So I'm forgetting the lady that wrote the April something. I can't remember the name. I'm terrible with names, but it's an amazing book, Enoch. And in this book,
Ye-
Tell me first.
the guy
There
claims
you
that
are.
Bigfoot bury themselves under
Mm-hmm.
trees. Like they literally can pick up trees. But I mean, I don't know. It's a theory that's in this book, which I thought was interesting, which could
Yeah.
explain. But I mean, I love Bigfoot.
Yeah.
Guys,
I think that they're like the best hide and seek players on the planet,
mhm,
obviously.
yeah.
And I really feel like that they've like figured out humans, because they've been watching us for tens of thousands of years.
Hmm.
And because when you look like evolution, like they would have come first before we did, right? Um, so they just know like they're gonna hide from us or something. So they've got to
Yeah.
be like in mountains and down in
Mhm.
caves and
Yeah.
Yeah,
And they're probably not that impressed with us. We've come
probably
along
not.
and
I wouldn't be.
we're taking over, and yeah, like the aliens, they're not
yeah,
not
they're
liking what they're seeing.
Yeah, except they can't lock their doors and fly away, you know.
Yeah.
They're just stuck here.
Yeah.
if they hide themselves.
That's
They're like,
it.
hide your big feet, hide your little feet.
Guys, I've loved talking to you tonight. Thank you so much for coming on, sharing your experiences. Can you tell the listeners where they can find you?
Yeah, absolutely. So we legitimately elitevixenparanormal.net, elitevixenparanormal.com. There's some things going on with that website that I need to really kind of work on. But on Facebook, Elite Vixen Paranormal or EVP Hunters on Facebook. Instagram, Elite Vixen Paranormal. This is going to get really repetitive real quick. Well, I'll do the short version. YouTube, TikTok, Clapper, all three Elite Vixen Paranormal. Instagram, Elite Vixen Paranormal, and then TikTok is Elite Vixen Para 1 because I couldn't put the whole thing. Yeah.
Awesome.
We're Elite Vixen Paranormal. You Google it, our business pops right up.
Awesome stuff. Your links will be in the show description so people can find you guys easily. Guys, thank you so much. Keep up the great work. Keep us posted if anything happens. You're welcome back anytime. Guys, thank you so much for listening. If you've enjoyed the episode, share it where you can. That is a great way to support us. We're going to be back very soon for more freaky conversations. In the meantime, stay safe and keep it freaky. Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.